Good day children, Sai Ram. Yesterday we had started with lesson number 1, our environment in EVS 1. I hope you all are revising what we learnt yesterday. Yesterday we had covered two topics from our content outline, that is a sparrow and a roadside stone. And why do we see these differences between the sparrow and the stone? Today we are going to learn the relationship between all things in the environment. Before we proceed, let us have a quick recap of what we learned yesterday. We learned that there are many things in our environment. Some are living things and some are non-living things. Children, we learned yesterday that there are many things in our surroundings. There are many things in our environment, and these things can be grouped into two, that is living things and non-living things. Living things need food which helps them to grow. We also learned that all living things like animals, plants, human beings, we all need food, water and air to live and to grow. Living things can move on their own. We also learned that animals and human beings, they can move from one place to another. Plants cannot move from one place to another, but there is some movement in the plants which are not easily visible. Living things produces young ones like themselves. We also learned that animals give birth to young ones and birds lay eggs, out of which young one hatches. Living things are of two kinds, plants and animals. Living things can be further grouped into two, that is plants and animals. Children, now let us learn the relationship between all things in the environment. Let us learn the relationship between plants and the environment, animals and the environment. We know that plants need food, water and air to live and to grow, and all these things they get from the environment. In the same way, animals also need food, water and air to live and to grow, and they get all the things that they need from the environment. Children, yesterday we learned that we build houses. Yes or no? We build houses for ourselves to protect ourselves from wind, rain, cold and sun, and also from thieves. So all the materials that we need, we get from the environment. In the same way, birds build nest for themselves. Why do they build a nest for themselves? Yes, to protect their young ones from the enemies and also to lay eggs. So they require different things to build their nest. All the things that they require, they get from the environment. They use threads, twigs, cotton to build nest. Children, twigs means it is a small and thin branch of a tree or a bush. Human beings also use many things from the environment. We use cotton, which we get from plants. We use wool, which we get from sheep. And we get silk from silkworms. We use cotton, wool and silk to weave cloth for ourselves. We also make baskets, mats, and the materials needed for making baskets, mats, we get from the environment. We make use of books also. We use it for different purposes, and the material required for making books are also obtained from the environment. Now let us see the relationship between humans and environment. Children, we have already learned that we build house for ourselves to protect ourselves from sun, rain, wind and from thieves. We use different materials to build our houses. We use stones, we use clay, wood, bricks, cement and all these things we get from the environment. We also wear clothes, and as we have discussed earlier, cotton, silk and wool we get from plants and animals. We get cotton from plants, we get wool and silk from animals, and so the things that we require to make clothes we get from the environment, because plants and animals both are a part of our environment. We also make use of books. Now, the material needed to make books we get from the environment. Books are made out of wood pulp. Wood pulp is obtained from wood, and wood we get from trees. And we know that plants are a part of our environment. So, directly we get the materials required to make books from the environment. We also need food to live, and we get food from plants and animals, and we know that plants and animals both are a part of our environment. We need water and air to live. Can any living things live without water or air? No, it is not possible. So all water and air also we get from our environment. We make use of different things. We make use of baskets, mats, furnitures, all these things. The materials that is needed to make all these things we get from the environment. Children, do you know plants, animals and environment, they are best friends because they help each other. Let us see how they help each other. We know that wind is a part of the environment and seedling grows from seeds. Now sometimes strong wind blows and light seeds of some plants scatter here and there. As a result, when the seeds get soil and moisture, they develop into seedlings, and from the seedlings plants grow. In this way, wind, which is a part of our environment, help plants to grow in different places. Animals also help the environment. How? Animals help to keep the environment clean. And how do they keep the environment clean? We have seen that foxes, crows and vultures, they eat the flesh of dead animals. And when they eat the flesh of dead animals, unknowingly they help our environment to keep clean, and at the same time they satisfy their hunger. Now let us see how animals and plants both help the environment. Now when animals die, their body decay. Children, decay means to get destroyed slowly. So when animals die, their body gets destroyed slowly and it gets mixed up in the soil and it makes the soil fertile. Fertile means the soil gets nutrition, so it helps the plants to grow. In the same way, leaves of trees also fall here and there and they too rot. And when they rot, they get mixed up with the soil and they make the soil fertile. Thus, living things like plants and animals make changes in non-living things like soil. So soil is a non-living thing. It is a part of our environment. But living things like plants and animals, unknowingly, they make a change in non-living things like soil. In this way, plants and animals both are helpful to our environment. Children, now let us see how plants and animals help each other. We know that a sheep's body is covered with wool and sheep feeds on leaves of shrubs. Now shrubs means they are short plants. As they do so, the seeds of some shrubs get caught in its wool, and all this happens unknowingly. And when the sheep goes somewhere else, the seeds may fall off there. And when the seeds get soil, moisture, and sunlight, seedlings develop, which in turn turns into a plant. In this way, the sheep, which is an animal, helps a plant, that is a shrub. Children, now let's ponder, let's think. We have seen that plants and animals both are good friends of our environment. Are we a good friend of our environment? What do you think, children? Are we a good friend of our environment? If yes, why do you feel so? And if no, why do you feel so? Children, do you know what I feel? I feel human beings are not a good friend of their environment. Now you might be wondering why. Children, because we only take from our environment. Do we give anything to our environment? No, we don't give anything to our environment. We just take whatever is available from our environment. We get food from our environment. We get water from our environment. We get air from our environment. Yes or no? So many things we get from our environment. But do we give anything to our environment? No, because we cut down the trees, we destroy the forest, we harm animals, we waste food, we waste water, we pollute the air. So when we are doing all such things, do you think we are a good friend of our environment? But children, we can change. We can be a good friend of our environment. How? By not wasting food, by preserving water. Yes, very good. By not cutting down the forest, by not harming animals, by doing all such things, we can become a good friend of our environment. And we can make our environment a cleaner, greener, and a better place to live. Always remember, children, the needs of all living things are fulfilled by things in their environment. Let it be plants, let it be animals or human beings. All that we need, we get from our environment. Such things should not be wasted. We should not waste anything that we get from our environment. We must take care that we do not cause any harm to the environment. And how we can do that? Yes, by not cutting down the trees. And even if we cut trees, we should plant more trees. We should not harm animals. We should not cut down the forest. In this way, we can see that we are not causing any harm to the environment. Now children, use your brain power. A railway engine goes to and fro. Is it a living thing? Very good. A railway engine is a non-living thing. it moves from one place to another because we operate it. It does not move on its own. So a railway engine is a non-living thing. Very good, children. Wood comes from trees, which are living things. A chair is made from wood. So is the chair a living or a non-living thing? Very good, children. A chair is a non-living thing because it cannot move on its own. It will move from one place to another only if we move it. Okay, very good. Now what we have learnt today. Living things get all that they need from their environment. We have already discussed that plants, animals and human beings, we need many things to live and grow. And all the things that we need to live and grow, we get from our environment. Living things bring about changes in non-living things too. We have already learned how plants and animals can bring about change in the soil, which is a non-living thing. All the things in the environment depend upon each other. We all depend on each other. We depend on plants and animals for food. Plants depend on the environment for food. Animals depend on plants and other animals for food. So we all depend on each other. Now let us see what we have learnt in the entire lesson. That is, it is a recap of what we learnt yesterday and today. All the natural things in our surroundings make our environment. I have already told you that all the things that is natural, that is the gift of nature to us, forms our environment. We will not include any man-made things. Things in our surroundings can be divided into two parts, that is living and non-living. So all the things that we see in our surroundings can be divided into two parts, that is living things and non-living things. Living things can be further divided into plants and animals, and we have already learned why plants and animals are called living things, because they need food, water and air to grow and to live, and they also reproduces young ones like themselves. All living things need food, water and air to live and grow. The only difference between plants and animals is that plants cannot move from one place to another. We have already seen that animals and human beings, they can move from one place to another. But in case of plants, they cannot move from one place to another. Though we can see some movement within the plants and it is not easily visible. Living things get all that they need from the environment. Plants, animals and human beings, we need many things to live, and all the things that we need to live, we get from our environment. Living things bring about changes in non-living things too. All the things in the environment depend on each other. We have also seen that we all are dependent on each other. Plants are dependent on the environment, animals are dependent on plants and other animals, and we are dependent on plants and animals for food. We should take care that the things we obtain from nature should not be wasted. We should also take care that whatever we get from the nature should not be wasted. Children, with this we come to the end of lesson number 1, our environment. I hope you have understood the lesson thoroughly. Keep on revising. Bye for now. Sai Ram.